Welcome everyone to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and Apple has finally confirmed its official iPhone 12 event. Now, there's a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of topics to go over, so in this video, we're going to walk through exactly what you can expect from Apple's new iPhone 12 event. Apple has revealed the date for its event is October 13th. Here's what to expect. First is, of course, the new iPhone 12 line. Now, the iPhone 12 is going to be broken up into 4 models in 3 different sizes. A small one, a large one, and then 2 sitting square at the middle. The smallest iPhone is going to be called the iPhone 12 mini, according to most recent rumors. Then there's the iPhone 12, or the iPhone 12 Max, which is going to be the same size as the iPhone 12 Pro. And then all the way to the top is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So the mini, the 12, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max will make up the entire iPhone 12 lineup. There's going to be a few discrepancies between the entry-level phones and the Pro level phones, including the better displays, the OLED displays on the iPhone 12 Pro models. The Pro ones are also going to include an additional camera on the back, so it'll have the wide angle, the ultra wide, and the tele-lens. The high-end phones are also going to have LiDAR, it seems, similar to the current generation iPad Pros that are out there. They might get a higher 7-element lens instead of a 6-element lens as they have now, and Apple may even bump up the resolution on the Pro models, and will have better noise reduction, hopefully better night mode on there. It sounds like we may get higher resolution or higher frame rate filming for 4K and slow-mo. So a lot of stuff kind of across the board when it comes to cameras. They're going to be running the A14 Bionic processor, the same processor that we saw on the most recent iPad Air that is set to debut in October. The entry-level phones will come with 4 gigs of RAM. The higher ones will be at 6 gigs of RAM. We're going to see storage capacities at 128 and 256, with the Pro models also having a 250 or a 512 gigabyte capacity option there. Otherwise, there's a few other things we've heard, a bunch of different stuff, including a special magnetic ring on the back, which could aid for bidirectional wireless charging or for better placement on a wireless charging pad. Speaking of which, Apple may choose to introduce their own wireless charging pad, which would make sense to couple with that new magnetic ring on the back of the phones. So if we do have this new charging pad that could go with it, and it would be a solo charging pad from what we've seen, but there's also talk of Apple reinvigorating AirPower. It seems they may have figured stuff out, so there's a chance that AirPower could make a debut, though that is further down on the list than the solo wireless charger. That's a much more likely option. Why is a wireless charger so likely this year? Aside from rumors, it seems that Apple's going to be removing the charger from the box of the iPhone. Now, that makes sense for a few reasons. We've heard this a number of times. We also saw it with the Apple Watch Series 6. Apple neglected to include a charger in the box, saying it was for environmental reasons, which makes sense. Who doesn't have a charger at this point? So other accessories that we may see this year, we may also see the AirPods Studio coming down the line. We've heard these for a while. John Prosser leaked some images of what these guys look like. Basically over-the-ear headphones in traditional AirPod style. Apple including their own chips in there for the wireless connectivity, easily move between devices. It would be great to launch alongside these new iPhones. AirTags may also make their debut. We've heard about AirTags literally for like a year or so now. We've been hearing about these for a long time. And again, these would make sense to introduce with an iPhone because the iPhone is going to be likely used to find these things. So these things are very similar to the Tile trackers that are out there, or the Bravo trackers, whatever Bluetooth tracker you happen to prefer. John Prosser again leaked images of what these are supposed to look like, renders based on schematics that he's seen and descriptions that he's heard. So these are little circular trackers you could use to put on your keys or other devices and then use your phone to find them. That makes sense because the new iPhones are going to have the LiDAR scanners, and you'll be able to use that to get a better 3D image of a room, which is perfect for trying to find your devices with augmented reality. Hold up your new iPhone 12 and you can see exactly where your keys are in the couch or in your coat pocket. A little arrow can show up right above it. It sounds very cool, and I can't wait for Apple to give us a demo of that at their event should AirTags debut. So of course, iPhone 12 is pretty much a certainty. AirTags are also a very high probability. AirPods Studio, I'd say just below that. There's a good chance that we may see those. But following that, we start to get to the more risky territory. One pretty solid likelihood, even though it's odd to debut at an iPhone event, would be the Apple Silicon Macs. There's been a lot of talk about these for a while, and Apple did say the first Apple Silicon Macs would debut before the end of 2020. So there's still time for maybe Apple to do another event in November, but that would be crazy for Apple to do 3 events here at the end of the year. So I think it's more likely Apple would choose just to announce these all at the same time while they have everyone's attention. So we could see the first Apple Silicon Mac coming out, maybe a 12-inch MacBook, maybe a MacBook Air. We've also heard rumors of a new 14-inch MacBook Pro, though that could be beginning in next year. We don't know. It sounds like Apple Silicon Macs, though, coming very soon, and there could be a good first chance to see these at this event, which I think would also go well with the AirPods Studio, because they could show that connectivity going between the Mac and the iPhone. AirPods Studio would be great to sit, obviously, at your desk working, but also being able to take on the go with AirPods or with your iPhone, should you choose to do that. Further down the list of likelihoods is an updated iPad Pro. We've heard a ton of rumors about the iPad Pro for some time, and right now Apple's iPad lineup is in a really weird, precarious position, because the new iPad Air is as fast, possibly even faster based on these leaked benchmarks that we've seen so far, than the iPad Pros. Because the new iPad Air is running the A14 Bionic processor, while the iPad Pros are running the A12Z Bionic processor. So there's a newer processor in the iPad Air, and it leaves the iPad Pros in just this weird spot. Like, they do have certain features that the iPad Air doesn't have, including the LiDAR scanner and true 4 speaker design for stereo, but no one's really going to be upgrading to an 11-inch iPad Pro and then get the Air for less money, and it has the same, better, faster, or at least as powerful processor. Just for LiDAR speakers, it just doesn't make sense. So Apple is likely going to be trying to get an iPad Pro out with a bunch of new features sooner rather than later. I would definitely say don't be buying an iPad Pro anytime in the near future unless Apple debuts a new one. So we could see that iPad Pro at this event, but the recent rumors from Ming-Chi Kuo say that the mini LED order for the updated iPad Pros was cut for Q4, and Q4 of course runs into the beginning of next year there. So it's likely that Apple is kind of manufacturing now for an early 2021 release, though we're not sure. So we could see maybe an announcement with a release in a month or two. It's all up in the air at this point between COVID and trying to get everything shipped here at the same time with the iPhone launch and the Apple Watches. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if Apple will be able to make those iPad Pros happen here in 2020. That could be an early 2021 thing, but it seems an iPad Pro update is very soon rather than later. So that is it, guys. That is what is on the docket for Apple's event. For sure, that iPhone 12 line with 4 new models. We're going to see, hopefully, AirTags and possibly AirPods Studio also being announced and released. Following that, we have a possibility of the new Apple Silicon Macs getting out in front of people very soon. Apple said before 2020 ends, so we only have a couple months left, so that makes sense. We could see those here. And then a far long shot of that updated iPad Pro here. But that is what we are expecting at Apple's new event. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, what you guys are most excited to see at this event, or just tell me on Twitter so we can talk about it. I'm excited to hear what you guys think of the most recent rumors. Find me at Andrew_OSU, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.